Hi, welcome to your practice, welcome to class. For today's session, we're going to be focusing on working the front side of your core. So you're going to feel belly, maybe kind of up to lower ribs, perhaps down towards the front of your hips working a lot. Obviously, because this is a flow class, everything else will get a bit of a move around as well. So you probably, beyond your mat, if you want to use one, you probably don't need any extra props. Unless your knees need a bit of extra padding under them, in which case perhaps a blanket or a folded towel, either just on the floor where you're working or underneath the middle of your mat if you've got a mat. And then once you're sorted, head over to your practice space. I'm going to head over to my mat and lie down on your back. And let's start with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. And rest your hands on your lower belly. So kind of belly button height, or maybe a bit lower. And perhaps start to let your breath settle into being slightly slower and maybe a little bit deeper than it was 10 minutes ago, whatever it was you were doing then. And notice that you can feel your breath moving underneath your hands. And if it feels like your breath is mainly higher than your hands, so perhaps in ribs or a little up in chest, just keep telling body, it's going to be still for a while. You can relax, stomach muscles soft. So the area underneath your hands is going to be where a lot of the work of today's class is going to be focused. But right now that area doesn't need to be switched on. So it's not that I'm going to be trying to get you to tense your stomach muscles non-stop for an entire hour, because muscles that are switched on when they don't need to be aren't getting stronger. I think they're just getting tense. So if you sit at your desk all day and your shoulders are inadvertently hiked up around your ears, you don't finish a day's work at your desk and think, oh, my shoulders and the sides of my neck feel really strong. You just feel kind of tense because they've been switched on without needing to be. So knowing that I'm going to ask you to switch your stomach muscles on soon enough, right now, just let them be soft. And notice also that you can feel an area in your lower back that arches a little bit away from the floor. So bum, maybe tailbone, kind of back of pelvis, rests on floor. And then a little bit higher up, lower back will tend to arch away from the floor. Compare that to back of ribs that will rest on the floor. Then next time you inhale, I want you to try and increase that curve in your lower back. So tailbone might press more strongly down into the floor. Belly, spine will arch up towards ceiling. As you exhale, flatten lower back down into floor. Inhale, arch lower back away from floor. Exhale, press lower back down into floor. And just keep on going with that. So really slight, simple motion, starting to tune your attention into the area that I'm going to be wanting you to think about as class goes on. Also starting to move a little bit in time with your breath. And think about what you can feel working to create this movement. So what switches on to help you arch your spine away from the floor? And what switches on to flatten lower back down into floor? Next time you flatten your lower back into the floor, just pause like that, but keep breathing. So it might be, if it's a lot of work in your belly to flatten your lower back into the floor, you might find that you need to breathe a little bit more into your ribs to be able to maintain this shape. Then keep lower back, flattening down into the floor. But one at a time, pick your legs up and bring your knees about over your hips so your shins are kind of parallel with the floor. If where you've got your legs, all of a sudden this is way too much work in your belly, then bring your knees a little bit closer to chest. If it feels like belly isn't working really at all, then send your knees a little further away from your chest. So it doesn't really matter where legs are in space. That isn't the point. The point is trying to get stomach muscles to switch on just a tiny bit. But you're in a position where you could be here for a minute or two. Okay. So if this is plenty of work, you could just stay doing this. And you can bring your feet down for a rest when you need. Otherwise, we're going to start to incorporate a little bit more belly work and some stuff for the front side of your hips, working one leg at a time. So place your right hand on your right knee, but not like grabbing your knee and pulling it towards you. Instead, imagine that you're trying to push your knee away from you with that hand. Okay, so you are in charge of how difficult this is. Start to press your knee into your hand, but with your hand, push it away. And notice that possibly fairly quickly, the sensation starts to ramp up around the front of your right hip and around lower belly. Notice if you're gritting your teeth, let that go. Any stuff that doesn't need to be switched on around neck and shoulders, try and let that soften. Are you still breathing? And then bring right hand down. You can bring knees into chest for a break in between sides if you like. Then let's set up, same thing, other side. Left hand is trying to push your left knee away from you, but with that knee, try and push your hand towards you. Remember, if it's too difficult, don't press so hard. If it's too easy, press a bit harder. Take an inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down. You could either just rest for a moment, or let's put both hands on like its respective knee, each hand on a respective knee. I didn't say that very well. Then with your knees, push against your hands, and with your hands, resist. Great. If your stomach muscles are juddering a little bit, that's pretty normal. Take a breath in. Exhale, hug knees into chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Let belly relax. Take a couple of deep breaths down into belly. Then with your hands, draw your knees apart, but bring your big toes together. Okay. Now lift your head and shoulders and look towards your feet. If this gets too much in your neck, you can make this shape supporting your head, or reach your arms down the inside of your legs like you were going to grab your feet, but don't actually grab them. So fingertips are almost pointing past your feet. So if this feels like plenty, you just stay as you are. And if you need to come down, bring head and shoulders back down. Otherwise, just take a bit of a wriggle. See if you can get your knees a little bit more up your arms. The answer might be no, that's okay. Take a breath in. So this is Bakasana or crow pose on your back. And then as you exhale, release. Head and shoulders come down, feet come down, breathe into belly. Okay, make your way over to all fours. So if you prefer all fours on knuckles or fist, if that's nicer for your wrist, you're welcome to do that. So you might be familiar with the yoga positions we call cat-cow, where you arch your spine up and down towards the floor. We're going to do that, but not quite yet. First of all, I just want to isolate the shoulder motion. So keeping your arms completely straight, draw your shoulder blades towards each other on your back so that your chest sinks slightly closer to the floor. Then push the floor away so that shoulder blades broaden apart and upper back rounds up a bit. Great. Inhale, let chest sink towards the floor, shoulder blades draw towards each other. Exhale, push floor away, shoulder blades broaden apart. Keep going with that. So just a couple more rounds. So you might notice, if you can see me on your screen, that my pelvis and my lower back aren't changing. I'm just literally maneuvering shoulders. And then let's start to get your spine and your core muscles involved. So next time you inhale, shoulder blades draw towards each other. Also arch spine towards floor, maybe look forwards a little bit. As you exhale, push the floor away, shoulder blades broaden apart, round spine up to ceiling by drawing your belly in and dropping tailbone down towards floor. 2 more of those. Inhale, arch spine to floor, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, push floor away, spine rounds up. Inhale, arch spine to floor, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, push floor away, spine rounds up. Pause like that. Feel how strongly your belly is switching on. I want you to maintain that. If you're not already, also squeeze your bum a bit. If you're looking towards your legs, just a little bit, let's look slightly more towards your hands. And if that feels kind of pinchy around your neck or shoulders, keep broadening your shoulder blades apart, but also try and move your shoulders just a millimeter down your back away from your ears. Yep, keep all of that. Straighten one leg back to plank position. Keep belly, shoulders, bum doing exactly what they're doing. Now straighten other leg back to plank. Great. Take an inhale here. Feel how this feels. Exhale, send hips up and back, downward facing dog. So the elements we were really working for plank there were with your arms pushing the floor away, so shoulder blades were broadening. We were working stomach muscles strongly, and I was also asking you to squeeze your bum. So next time you inhale, shift forwards to plank again. All those elements come online. Arms push, belly firm, bum squeezes. Exhale, send hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forwards to plank. Everything fires up, push the floor away. Exhale, send hips up and back. Pause there. See if there's any way you can send more body weight back in your legs. So you might want to experiment with bending your knees a little bit. That might allow you to send your hips further back. So we're going to be doing plank a few times. Hopefully that's not too bad news, which is a lot of weight on arms. So in this position, are you able to get your center of gravity a bit more back over legs, and legs can take some of the effort? Then one more time, inhale, shift forwards to plank. Belly strong, bum squeezes, arms push. This time, drop your knees, lower down to lie on your front. Great. Prop yourself up on your elbows. So just check for me that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. So they're not further back and they're not wider. Just like directly under. If anything, if you're unsure, a little bit further forwards probably works slightly better than further back. You can have your palms flat on the floor, or you can interlink your fingers. That feels a bit more comfy to me. With your elbows, imagine you're trying to drag the floor, drag your mat towards your hips. So Sphinx pose. Arms pull back towards you. Belly button, chest, pull forwards and up. Shoulders away from your ears. So from here, we're going to come to like a modified version of forearm plank. And I want you to keep your knees on the floor, because doing it this way is actually harder for the certain stuff in your belly we're trying to switch on than coming up onto your feet with spine in neutral. We're going to have your back artificially flattened like it was when we were on the floor earlier. So take a breath in where you are. As you breathe out, start to lift your lower ribs away from the floor, and then draw belly in. So belly button lifts away from the floor, then fronts of hips, then thighs. Pause there. Inhale at the top, so bum is squeezing. Exhale, just bring your thighs down, then fronts of hips, then belly, then ribs. 2 more of those. Inhale, pull chest forwards. Exhale, draw ribs in, stomach muscles switch on, hips lift, thighs lift, you're up on your knees. Inhale there, really push elbows into floor. Exhale, bring thighs down, then hips, then belly can relax a bit. Inhale, pull chest forwards. Exhale, like a wave, peel yourself up onto your knees. Inhale at the top, bum squeezes, don't stick your bum up. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, pull chest forwards. Exhale, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. So hips go up and back. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, walk your feet forwards to your hands, standing forward fold at the front of your mat. Just pause there for a moment and let yourself dangle. So it might be that hands are on the floor. It might be that they're kind of dangling towards the floor. You might prefer to cross your arms or hold your elbows and maybe sway a little side to side. So that little sequence that we just did of going from Sphinx pose to that knees down version of forearm plank, we're going to add that into our salutations. Then if you're holding your elbows, let go of them. Next time you inhale, lift halfway up to standing. So pull your chest forwards, stick your bum out, keep lifting up until you feel back muscles switch on a bit. So you might find that your hands are propped maybe around your knees. If you want to work back muscles a little bit more, you could take that support away and shrug your shoulders away from ears. If you try that and you don't prefer it, you can just prop hands again. Take an inhale wherever you are. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, palms together. Thumbs to chest. Great. Let's start to move a little bit more. Inhale, reach up to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand, reach your arms up. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to chest. One more of those. Inhale, reach up to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Let's add some lunges in. Inhale, reach to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step your right foot back. Drop that knee to the floor. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank. Inhale, plank, so push your arms, draw belly button in. Exhale, keep that feeling as you drop your knees lower to the floor. Prop yourself up on your elbows, so elbows underneath shoulders. Inhale, pull chest forward, Sphinx pose. Exhale, draw ribs in, belly muscles switch on, fronts of hips lift, then thighs lift. Inhale there, push elbows into floor. Great. Exhale, drop thighs down, then hips, then belly relaxes. Inhale, pull chest forwards. Exhale, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, step your right foot forwards, drop back knee down to floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, hands down, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift just halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come all the way up and reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Other side. Inhale, reach to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, left foot back, left knee to floor. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down to lie on your front. Last time, prop up on your elbows. Inhale, pull chest forwards. Exhale, lift ribs, draw belly in, lift hips, lift thighs. Inhale there. Exhale, thighs come down, hips, belly. Inhale, pull chest forwards. Exhale, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, step your left foot forwards. back knee to floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, hands down, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift just halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach to ceiling. So a little bit different this time. Exhale, fold forwards. We're going to use hands less for support. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands to prayer. Step right foot back. Drop that knee to the floor. Inhale, reach up to your ceiling. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down to lie on your front. This time, reach your arms back alongside you. Inhale, locust pose. So lift arms, legs, and chest up. Exhale, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step that foot forwards, drop back knee down to floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, hands to prayer, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift just halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come all the way up and reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Last side, breath in, reach to ceiling. Breath out, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, prayer hands, left foot back, left knee to floor. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale there, belly strong, squeeze your bum. Keep that feeling as you exhale, lower down to floor. Reach arms back alongside you. Locust pose, inhale, lift everything up. Downward facing dog, exhale, hips go up and back. Inhale, send left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your foot forwards, back knee to the floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, prayer hands, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come up and reach up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Really nice. Inhale, reach up. Let's move on, but same slow breath. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Hold there. Inhale, feel hands on the floor. Exhale, feel your feet. Keep breathing. Push the floor away with hands and feet. Send hips up and back. And then each time you come to downward dog, you've got a couple of choices. You could stay where you are, or you could bring your knees down either to all fours or to child's pose. Take a bit of a break, maybe grab a drink of water. Alternatively, if you want to keep moving, you could maybe be shifting backwards and forwards between downward dog and plank, or you could go plank, lower down, back bend. So far we've done Sphinx or locust. You could choose cobra or up dog. So any of those little variations that you might know. And then on an exhale, come back to downward dog. So if you're resting, you can hit pause and just start moving whenever you're ready. If you are ready to move now, then on an inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, lunge. This time back knee can be up or down, your choice. Either way, on an inhale, bring yourself up. Arms reach up to ceiling. Exhale, bring palms together, thumbs to chest. Great. Keep breathing slowly. Straighten your front leg a little bit. And then exactly like we did lying on the floor at the beginning, use your stomach muscles to flatten lower back a bit. So imagine you had like a belt on and you're trying to lift that belt buckle slightly up. Keep that feeling as you rebend your front knee. Yes. Then reach both your arms straight forwards. Interlink your fingers. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, don't lean forwards, but press your knuckles away from you. Round through your upper back. So as you inhale, take the air up into upper back.
Keep that feeling as you exhale, draw belly in stronger. Next time you inhale, unhook fingers, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, hands down to floor, downward facing dog. Either hold there or bring your knees down for a break, or you could keep moving. You could go plank, back bend down dog, going backwards and forwards to plank. Warning, we're going to be doing a few more planks. You could just be alternating, bending one knee and then the other if you like, if that helps you breathe slow. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, lunge, back knee up or down. Inhale, come up, reach arms to ceiling. Exhale, bring palms together, thumbs to chest. Keep breathing. Feel if there's any sensation of work in lower belly. We're going to try and switch that on a little bit more. Straighten front leg a bit. Use your stomach muscles to slightly flatten lower back. So you're lifting that imaginary belt buckle up. Keep that feeling as you rebend your front knee. You might feel that as more stretch in the front of your right hip as well. Then keeping that, reach your arms forwards, interlink your fingers. Inhale up into chest. Don't lean forwards, but as you exhale, just press your knuckles away. So shoulder blades broaden apart. It's exactly what we were doing lying on the floor when you were, on all fours when you were pushing the floor away so that your upper back broadened. Same action here. Next time you inhale, unhook fingers, reach arms up to ceiling. Whoa, almost fell over. Exhale, hands down to floor, downward facing dog. Stay here if you like. Bring your knees down for a rest if you prefer. You can keep moving if you want to. So I'm just going to bend one knee and then the other a couple of times and breathe in time with that. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, shift forwards to plank. Pause there. Remember, you can always bend your knuckles or you can drop your knees down if you like. With your arms, push the floor away, draw belly in and squeeze your bum. And then just the tiniest amount you can, 1 millimeter, pick your right foot off the floor. So that's going to tend to make your hips skew out to the left. So can you now bring your hips just slightly more towards center of mat? Great. And then both feet down, downward facing dog or child's pose. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, shift forwards to plank. Same thing other side. Set everything first. Belly strong, squeeze your bum. Just 1 millimeter, hover left foot off the floor. It's going to tend to make you skew out to the right. So draw outer right hip in a little bit. And then both feet down, downward facing dog. Okay, great. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Keep it lifted. Exhale, shift forwards to plank. Tuck that knee in towards your chest, but really push the floor away and round your spine up. Inhale, send leg up and back. Let's do a couple more of those. Exhale, shift forwards, knee to chest, lift shin high. Inhale, send leg up and back. Exhale, shift forwards, knee to nose. Different this time. Inhale, send leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, lunge, back knee up or down. I'm going to go down this time. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Okay, great. As you exhale, bring palms together, thumbs to chest. Same work in belly, whether your back knee is up or down as we did on the last side. So straighten front leg a bit, draw belly muscles in, lower back slightly flattens, rebend front knee. Bring your arms down by your side, hook your thumbs together behind your back, slide your hands up so they're resting in your lower back, draw your shoulder blades down. Keep doing everything that you're doing. Now also squeeze your elbows towards each other behind your back. So that you're trying to point your elbows at the back edge of your mat. So in the last round, we had your hands in front of you, your fingers interlinked to broaden out upper back, backs of shoulders. Now we've got fingers hooked behind you to broaden out chest, fronts of shoulders. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, hands down by front foot, downward facing dog. Hold there, come down and rest if you like. Keep moving if you prefer. Remember, you could be flowing through plank or a back bend. If you're doing that, make it slow. Or you could just be still and breathe in. Inhale, lift left leg up and back. Keep it lifted. Exhale, shift forwards to plank. Tuck that knee in towards your chest. Really push with arms. Inhale, send leg up and back. Exhale, shift forwards, knee into chest. Inhale, send leg up and back. Exhale, shift forwards, tuck knee in. Perfect. Inhale, send leg up and back. Different this time. Exhale, step your foot forwards. Lunge, back knee up or down. Inhale, come up, reach arms to ceiling. So last lunge. Exhale, bring palms together, thumbs to chest. As you inhale, straighten your front leg a bit. Exhale, switch stomach muscles on, like you're trying to lift that belt buckle up. Keep that feeling, rebend front knee. Bring your arms down by your sides again. This time, a couple of choices. You could hook your thumbs behind your back, draw shoulders down and squeeze your elbows like we did last time. Or you could interlink your fingers behind your back and take your hands back, whichever one feels like it gets the nicest stretch across your chest. So for some people, that's arms straight. And for some people, that's elbows bent and thumbs hooked. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Great. Hold there. Bring your knees down for a rest if you like. I might take a moment in child's pose, or you could keep moving if you prefer. So if you are choosing to move, check that you're moving in time with a slow, steady breath, especially if you're lowering down from plank and then going into a back bend, because body wants to do that faster. It's easier faster. If you are still, see if you can keep breathing. When you're ready to move, we'll meet in downward dog again. And you remember we did that thing earlier on when you were on all fours and we were just moving your shoulder blades around your back. It's like we were doing push-ups, but just with your shoulder blades. So shift forwards to plank. You can either drop your knees down and we'll do that same thing again, or this time we're going to do it from plank. But I want you to try and not sacrifice anything else in this shape. So draw belly in and squeeze your bum. And keep your arms straight, but draw your shoulder blades towards each other. So that your chest is going to sink a bit towards the floor. And then push floor away, broaden shoulder blades apart. 2 more times. Inhale, shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale, push floor away. I know, 1 more time. Inhale, shoulder blades draw towards each other. Exhale, push floor away. Hold there, 1 more breath in. Breath out, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here just to recover yourself. You could stay here or you could drop your knees down. So a slower motion version of what we were doing last time from downward dog and plank. Inhale, send your right leg up and back. Exhale, shift forwards to plank. Tuck that knee into your chest. This time we're going to hold it. So hold here for an inhale. Hold, exhale. 1 more breath in, come up onto fingertips, right hand. As you breathe out from there, step your foot forwards. If it won't step, just grab it, bring it forwards. Back toes turn out, warrior 2. Inhale, come up. So you'll end up with your left toes and your chest facing towards the left side of the room. Front toes pointing towards the front of your room. Arms reach out, shoulder height. If they get tired, they can go hands on hips. Okay. Next time you inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach your right fingertips past your tiptoes, triangle pose. So front hand down, it might land kind of on your knee, maybe on your shin. Other arm can reach up. If you prefer, you could go hand on top hip. On an inhale, come back up, warrior 2. Perfect, so front knee rebends. Keep that, exhale, flip front palm to face ceiling. Keep front knee bent, inhale, reach front arm up, back hand drops down to back leg. So reverse warrior, nice. Inhale, transition back to warrior 2. Exhale, bend your front arm, prop it on your front thigh. You can reach other arm up to ceiling or take it alongside your ear. Then feel your feet on the floor. Don't move them anywhere, but imagine you're trying to pull your feet towards each other so you feel legs switch on a little bit more. Keep doing that with your legs. Either try and lean on your bottom arm a bit less, or experiment with taking that bottom arm alongside your ear as well. If that experiment is, I don't like it, then you put your hand back where it was. Either way, on an inhale, let's come all the way back up, warrior two. So arms reach out. Great. Exhale, hands cartwheel down to front foot, downward facing dog. Hold here. Drop your knees down for a break if you like. Keep moving if you prefer. Remember, the movements are just tools to keep you focused on what you're doing, to try and keep breath slow and steady. So sometimes taking a break might help you with that. Sometimes moving might help you with that. Either of those is just as good as each other. When you're ready to do the other side, come to downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Keep it lifted. Exhale, shift forwards to plank. Tuck that knee in towards your nose. Don't let your hips drop down. Push the floor away around your spine up. Hold there, inhale. Hold, exhale. One more breath in, come to fingertips left hand. Breath out, step that foot forwards. Help it if it doesn't quite get there. Back toes turn out. Inhale, come up. Warrior two. So now right toes and chest are facing kind of towards right side of room. Left fingertips, left toes are pointing towards the front of your room. Inhale, straighten front leg. Exhale, reach through left fingertips, triangle pose. Front hand might land somewhere on your shin, maybe near your knee, maybe near your ankle. Other arm could reach up, or you could go hand to hip. On an inhale, come back up, warrior two. Pause. Exhale, flip front palm to face ceiling. Inhale, reach front arm up, back hand drops. Great. Keep breathing slow. Next time you inhale, come back to warrior two, so arm shoulder height. Exhale, bend front arm, prop it on your front thigh, reach other arm either up to ceiling, or you could go alongside your ear. I kind of like that feeling a stretch along my right side, so I'm going to go arm by ear. If that gets pinching your shoulder, try reaching up instead. Then remember what we did on the last side. Feel your feet on the floor. Imagine you're trying to pull your feet towards each other. Keep doing that. Either make bottom arm light or take bottom arm alongside your ear as well. Then from wherever you're at, on an inhale, come all the way back up, warrior two, arms reach out. Exhale, hands down to the floor, downward facing dog. Stay in your downward dog, or bring your knees down for a rest if you like, or you could keep moving if you prefer. If you're like, what does she mean by plank, back, bend down dog? It's just this. On an inhale, shift forwards to plank, work all those actions we practiced. Exhale, lower down. I'm going to go to floor. If you're familiar with the pose chaturanga, you want to do that, you could do. Inhale, choose a back bend. So I'm going to go locust pose. That's arms back alongside me, lift up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in where you are. As you breathe out, walk your feet forwards to your hands. Come to a standing forward fold at the front of your mat. Just pause there and dangle for a moment. So take hold of your elbows and maybe sway a little side to side. If you're looking at your feet and it feels reasonable in your neck, you might want to let your neck relax so your gaze is more towards your legs. Then let go of your elbows. On an inhale, lift halfway up to standing. So chest pulls forward, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, fold down towards legs again. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Keep them up. Exhale, chair pose. So bend your knees and sit your hips down and back. Great. You can keep your arms up or you can go hands to prayer. So from here, I'm going to sit down on the floor. You could do that with hands in prayer. You could do it with arms reaching forwards. You could take your hands down for support. So for some people, the proportions that they have in their legs, it's easy to do it without your hands for support. For other people, it's kind of impossible to do that without falling over. So you just choose whichever works. Either way, take a breath in. As you breathe out, sit your bum down on the floor. Keep your thighs near your chest. Lift your feet. Hold on around the backs of your knees, bent knee boat pose. Okay, so now rather than trying to flatten your lower back, the opposite of what we've been doing for most of the rest of the class, I want you to think inward curve lower back, lift your chest up. Yeah, then either stay doing that, holding on to backs and knees, or reach your arms forwards. So in this position, belly's going to be working a bit. This is a lot about the muscles in the fronts of your hips. We're going to shift to a lower version of this, which is going to be more about front side of belly. So take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to lower down. So legs extend out in front of you. Shoulder blades still hover off the floor. Take an inhale there. Exhale, come back up. Whoa. Inhale, bent knee boat pose. Let's do that 2 more times. Rest if you need. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to hover. Exhale, come back up. 1 more. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to lower. Inhale down there. Exhale, come back up. This time we're not coming back up. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower almost to the floor. Hold there, inhale. Collapse on the floor, exhale. Great. Breathe down into your belly. And think about trying to relax your neck and your shoulders, your jaw, maybe your forehead. All that stuff can tend to switch on when we're working belly muscles. So from now on, we're going to stay low to the floor. But when you're ready, let's make your way to all fours. So we've been doing a lot of bringing knees into chest. And then also we were just doing boat pose. That's quite strong for the front side of your hips. So let's start to lengthen that out a bit. Step your right foot forwards to the outside of your hands. So both hands are on the inside of front foot. Shuffle your back knee back a bit. Press your back foot down into the floor. So if it's uncomfortable pressing your foot down with your toes pointed like I've got them, you could tuck your toes under. That works well too. Either way, press back foot down. So this is more strengthening for the front side of your leg. You could stick with this, or we could do some strengthening for back side of leg as well. Bend your back knee, point your toes, bring heel towards bum. If that's too much on your knee, you could try putting more cushioning under it. If that doesn't cut it, choose the other version. Then either stay working on strengthening your leg, that's a great option, or you could reach back with left hand, catch hold of your foot, draw your foot towards your bum. If it feels like your arm's not long enough, you could kind of use a strap or a tea towel to lasso your foot. If you're like, nah, that's just not happening, that's okay. Both hands down, just keep that knee bent. So doing it without holding your hands, just building a ton of strength in hamstrings. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Step back to all fours or downward dog if you prefer. And then from there, let's step your left foot forwards to outside of hands. See if there's any space in your body to wiggle your back knee back a bit. Either with toes tucked or toes pointed. On your back foot, press your back foot down into the floor. And breathe slowly. This is getting a bit much in your wrists. I'm on fingertips, or you could be on knuckles instead if you prefer. Then stay doing that, or bend your back knee. Even if you know you're going to catch hold of your foot, don't do it yet. Yeah, don't cheat your hamstrings of this bit of strengthening, even though they feel like they might feel like they want to be cheated of it. You can stay doing what you're doing, or you can reach back, catch your foot, draw it towards your bum. Ignore the sound of my knees cracking. If you don't prefer that option, or it just doesn't work for you, don't choose that one. You've got 2 others, either knee bent or back foot down on the floor. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, release. Step back to all fours. Come to sit on your bum with your legs out in front of you. He's just checking out what we're up to. Reach your arms out in front. You might be trying to lick my feet. You like licking feet. Inhale, sit tall. As you exhale, draw stomach muscles in so you start to round your spine like you're making a capital C shape in your spine. Slowly lower down to the floor. When you run out of air, pause for an inhale. Then as you exhale, continue your roll. Pause, breath in. If you're on the floor already, stay there. If you're not, exhale, lower all the way down. If you haven't reached the floor yet, keep going. If you have, just enjoy a moment of stillness. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. So we're going to do 3 different versions of bridge. They're going to work the back side of you, each of them very slightly differently. So first version, feet about hip width apart, heels maybe underneath your knees or just a little bit further forward. So you don't need to be able to touch your heels because for some bodies, that's going to tend to bring your heels a bit too close in. So if anything, towards heels a little bit further away. Bend your elbows 90 degrees so your fingers are pointing up to the ceiling. So we're going to use your arms as well. That's not to make it easier. That's to fire up this big pair of muscles in the sides of your back that are going to switch on when we press your elbows down. So take an inhale. As you exhale, press feet into the floor, press elbows down and lift your bum up, bridge pose. So rather than thinking about lifting up into a big back bend, I want you to instead think belly draws in, squeeze your bum a little bit. So it might be like a flatter version of bridge than you're used to. Now notice if your legs are doing all the work, with your elbows also push down into the floor. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, come down. Keep your arms as they are, but walk your feet away from your bum a step. So I've gone maybe like, I'm not sure, maybe like 20 centimeters, a few inches. So my knees are more like at a 90-degree bend. Then come up onto your heels. So your toes are lifted. Having your feet further away like this is going to tend to shift a bit of the effort a bit more down into your hamstrings rather than just up in, rather than mainly in your bum. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, press down into elbows, press into heels, come up, bridge pose. Maybe a slightly like longer, lower lying bridge than you might be used to. Keep pressing elbows into floor because they'll want to switch off and just let legs do the work. Take an inhale. Exhale, come down. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. If that isn't comfortable, you can do either of the 2 versions of bridge we've just done again. If it feels reasonable, we're going to do bridge with legs like this. This is going to tend to work a bit more outer hips. So take an inhale. As you exhale, push elbows down, push heels together, lift your bum up, but keep trying to take your knees out wide even as you lift your bum up. Maintain a consistent pressure of elbows pushing down into floor. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring your bum back down. Let your hands rest on your belly. And take a couple of slow breaths down towards your belly button. And if it's comfy for you to take your arms overhead, you might want to have a few breaths like that. You may prefer arms out wide. If this leg position isn't comfortable, you could instead have just knees pointing to ceiling and feet flat on the floor.
Either way, just one or two more slow, steady breaths, just where you are. Then if your knees are still apart, bring them back together. Bring your right knee into your chest, catch hold of it with your hands. Straighten left leg along the floor. Keep your left hand on that knee. If you've got space, take your right arm out wide. If not, it could be by your side or maybe overhead. Take a breath in. Exhale, take your knee over to the left, so across your body into a twist. Breathe slowly down into your belly. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back up. Hug both knees into your chest. Keep hold of left knee. Straighten right leg. Left arm out wide if you've got space. If not, just by your side. Take a breath in. Exhale, same twist, other side. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back up. Hug both your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Then bring your feet down onto the floor. Choose to rest either by taking your feet a bit wider and letting your knees knock in, or you might like to straighten your legs along the floor. If you've got like a chair or something handy, you could rest your calves on the seat of your chair or your sofa. If you would prefer to sit up for a couple of minutes seated meditation, that's a nice option too. And then decide hands on belly or arms out wide, arms by your side. Then take a long, deep inhale. And lengthen your exhale. And once that's done, see if you can relinquish control of your breathing. So that it starts to settle again into its own natural pattern. And after almost an hour of trying to control your breath, trying to control the muscles in your lower abdomen, now just let them be soft. Just observe, does your breathing feel fast or slow when you lie still? Does it feel deep or shallow? Do you feel it more in belly or in rib cage? Or maybe a bit of both? Does your inhale or exhale feel longer, or do they feel about the same? Then if you've got time and you want to, you could stay here a bit longer. If you had an hour to spare, almost, not yet, but almost up against that. So if you are going to come up, maybe take a couple of deeper breaths up into chest. You might want to reach your arms overhead, legs straight, full body stretch. And perhaps bring knees into chest. Give yourself a hug, rock a little side to side. And then gently make your way up to sit. And try and choose a sitting position so it doesn't have to be the same as mine, where you feel like you can create a bit of inward curve in your lower back. So you might sit on your heels like me, you might sit on your bum, cross-legged. You could sit on a block or maybe on the edge of a chair. Let your shoulder blades relax down your back, bring your palms together, thumbs to chest. Take an inhale here. Exhale, drop your chin. Thank you so much.